Johanna as well. But it worked pretty effectively here because Johanna's always got a shield. As we see here, we're heading to Dragonshire for map number 2. This is another KT map choice.
KT once again going for the map. I don't hate it. We've seen pretty good KT games in the past on Dragonshire. They are, of course, a team that could run the Medivh. They have done so in the past. This is also a really good map for Johanna or the Muradin. Muradin in particular, I think, on Dragonshire just shines so much. There's so many hidden paths, you know, there's so much terrain that he can leap over just to initiate a team fight with a surprise element at his side. And but once again, Tetra, we have to talk about Timeless as well. We gave him a lot of praise, went on heroes like Muradin and Johanna, but the moment he shifts away from those, didn't really look so good, did he?
He did not. Another Yrel coming in. Different skin, though, so we'll see if that continues. I do also want to talk about something else quickly, and that is the consistent Deckard Cain bans from TeamNut.
Yeah.
The reasoning for this is because KT, they keep winning with him. They have a 3-0 record on Deckard, and the majority of the other games where they don't have those games, obviously only after 3 games out of their current, like, 8-ish. The majority of the games where they weren't able to win, it was either taken or banned away from them. They have not lost with a hero, and that includes a victory versus CE with it.
And we remember, Tetra, we remember that game on Dragonshire. I think it was against SBT, I'm not 100% sure, where they played the Sergeant Hammer with the Deckard Cain, and they absolutely dominated all the way from the beginning of the game till the end. Yeah. So by removing the Deckard Cain, you basically deny a lot of the Sergeant Hammer value. I'm not even sure if KT is willing to pick it anymore. Yes, they go for the Phoenix, and they go for the Haka instead.
Yeah, KT still very keen on these heroes. They're giving it another go. Not picking Diablo up quickly this time, as they did last time. Potentially going for maybe something like a Muradin as their tanky style here, whereas TeamNut, they already have the Yrel here. So the question is, what else do they want to go with it? Starting off with Garrosh and Genji. We already know what kind of plays Hape can make on this Genji.
Yeah. You brought up a really good point. First of all, you take it away from Hape, who's an absolute monster on the hero. If you guys were watching us last week, you basically know what we're talking about. But also, when you have a strong soul laner like Yrel, Malthael would be another good example, or Zagara, for example. When you have a superior solo laner, these heroes like to play aggressively, right? You want to push the enemy hero in. You want to deal as much damage to those towers early on with the help of your minions. And guess which hero punishes that reckless behavior? It's a Genji, right? So if Genji comes in for a gank on the solo lane, you might often regret your reckless behavior and your aggressive playstyle. So picking it not only away from Hape, but also getting it for your team allows Yrel to turn on the heat much more.
Now, KT with the next ban. Neither team's picked a support, so if KT could ban, then pick one. What would be pretty scary here? It's Dragonshire, so they're going to ban out the Jaina for the moment. Jaina would have been fine in their comp, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So it means they have other intentions. Maybe something like a Timeless. Maybe something like a Tychus. Like you suggested a little bit earlier, someone who can try and deal with Yrel.
When you play Tychus, the only thing you need to be on the lookout for is the Ardent Defender, so you don't blast your minigun onto Yrel while she has the protection up, right? But once you basically get the hang of it, you should be just fine. And they still ban the Sergeant Hammer, Tetra. They still ban it out because there are other supports, of course, that can work with this playstyle just as fine. We mentioned Morales earlier. Even a Malfurion could work. They pick it right here, right now. They go for the Johanna once again. Looks like Timeless has had enough. He wants to go back to his baby girl, Jojo. I don't hate it. I think this is a very generic team comp that KT has right now. No shenanigans, no surprises here, because quite frankly, the big surprise, the hammer, was taken out. So let's see if they can basically come back into this with a normal, more standard team comp.
Timeless 3-1 on this Johanna this season. Very effective on the hero. And it's a good setup, a good extra bit of CC, because once again, all of Yrel's abilities are channeled outside of that trait, which allows you to activate a ability at full charge immediately. So being able to interrupt those with consistent CC, especially if she takes the cooldown reduction, could be fantastic.
Shout out to X-Robin in the chat, by the way, who said they never picked Nova, and adds a smiley face that doesn't really look that happy next to it. But I've got good news. We saw Nova last week by CE, and it is sitting at 100% win rate, just like Sagara, by the way. Like, last week was a little crazy, wasn't it, Tetra, with SPT and CE, respectively. Oh, speaking of crazy, here comes the Lucio.
Lucy, whoa, bringing out here double Shimada, Yrel, Lucio. That's intriguing. I like this. This is a very interesting comp in terms of actual fighting. I mean, look at it in terms of what do you actually have to break the Lucio? There's no burst damage right now. There's Salvo, which can be shielded, Sound Barrier, because the Salvo has the most obvious setup of all time, so it's a very good indicator of, oh, I should be breaking it down, like, right now.
You know what, Tetra? I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. I think the Lucio pick, although it's not really in meta anymore, although it's not really the standard common support pick, I think this could actually work. Combine that with the armor, combine that with the extra healing potentially from Yrel, even the extra armor there, to be honest. And the shields are going to have so much value, especially on Garrosh, who basically thrives in a shielding environment, right? When he's low in HP and he gets a shield, that's oftentimes way more useful than a heal.
Now we see the Tychus, as previously predicted, and it's interesting. I actually would have preferred if they went away from this. I mean, yeah, the Sound Barrier could be good to block burst, but if you can drop it, then that leaves the Sound Barrier already down, so it sets up for a salvo. I don't know. I'm thinking I would have actually preferred some burst damage. Like, me, I don't know who I would have preferred.
Honestly, a Chromie. Against the Lucio?
You're against double Shimada, though.
Yeah, you do have a point there, but I think you already had pretty good peel as well with the Johanna and the Dahaka potentially. And what Chromie brings to the table here, I think, would have been the Lucio counter, right? You basically put the Lucio in the temporal loop, for example. He doesn't have cleanse. He doesn't really have means to escape. He's going to pop like made out of paper. And I don't know. It's hard to say that, right? Because obviously I think that the Nut team, TeamNut, they brought a really fancy draft to this. And I think they made it really hard for their opponents, KT, to find that golden last pick.
Yeah, I'm looking through other options here, and right now the only options I can see are what they went for, Tychus, which is a little bit of burst damage late game and in the Odin form. Falstad, because he does have the slows and he can go burst, but he is immensely vulnerable to...
Would have been a global too.
Even more vulnerable than Tychus. It is a global, but I don't think that's a huge issue for them right now, because they already have Dahaka. And then there's the Chromie, like you said, who, again, suffers from the vulnerability issues, especially against Yrel, who's incredibly oppressive. So... yeah, honestly, I look through and I'm going to retract my statement. Tychus feels that it is the safest choice, and you're against a comp that punishes taking risks. So I dig it from KT, but TeamNut, it's a scary team composition. Let's see if they can pull it off on Dragonshire as we are heading into game number 2 with TeamNut 1-0 up.
Yeah, TeamNut, they've built a lot of pressure onto KT, already 1-0 in the lead. Can they make it a 2-0 and walk away with 3 sexy points? Basically pulling even in the overall standings with KT. But here we see the members of TeamNut with No and Genji. FS plays the Garrosh, Fei on the Yrel once again, Oasis on Hanzo, and Atui plays Lucio.
And on the right, it is KT with Hope on Phoenix, Timeless on Johanna, TWT on Malfurion, Hikari on Dahaka, and Hate is playing on the Tychus.
All right. Can they bounce back here, Team KT? That is, we see a lot of comfort on the picks here, on the draft for especially Timeless, the leading figure of KT, the shot caller, and I believe team captain, although I'm not 100% sure on that one. We're going to see here a little bit of a skirmish going down. FS trying to make an engage happen with the Garrosh, but for now, not really getting enough value out of it.
Shots coming in from Tychus on that overkill. Interesting little animation there, but it's fine. Laws of Hope coming in from Johanna. Immediate pressure onto Hikari, but it's just to try and zone him away from the lane to let Yrel come in and get a decent position.
All right, Yrel, by the way, no surprises here. Once again, going for Murad's inside. Now Lucio trying to add a little bit of mobility to FS on the Garrosh. That's going to be a very useful thing to have. The speed boost, I think many people actually forgot about it for the most part, simply due to the fact that Lucio is not really that common anymore. But you allow your teammates to chase down people, and the boop as well to interrupt to reliably interrupt all those Phoenix teleports. That is actually something that didn't even come to my mind. But Tetcher, I think we might be able to see a lot of these golden boops by Lucio.
I mean, I agree. I think that's a really good idea. Bringing out the Accelerando, as we said, but then using the continued sound wave to interrupt the teleport of Phoenix every time. That could be the clutch move. FS actually delivers this Mercenary to KT, giving them a better position. Tui looking to see if he had an opportunity to steal, not getting it instead, just gets the sound wave for good measure. Finds Timeless, actually. Another sound wave. Is the throw off cooldown interrupted anyway?
Interrupted anyway, and as such, we're going to see a 3 versus 3 with Siege Giants reinforcing either side. Let's see who's going to reign supreme here after all. I think in terms of raw team fighting, Malfurion probably still adds a little more reliable sustain, but look at how well TeamNut is actually holding this. Atui trying to really get the maximum value of his level 1 talent, the Accelerando, so he's so hard to catch. Dehaka coming in as a reinforcement, and they save the Garrosh. Unstoppable, actually going for Atui himself, going for the Lucio, but not able to secure the kill.
That was really nice. That was Lucio using the fact that he is unbody blockable, I believe, in that wall ride.
Yes.
Yeah, to move in front of the Garrosh as Garrosh changed direction to make sure that even if Dehaka got the prediction, it would land on Lucio as he had the better chance of escaping.
Yeah, really nice micromanagement there on the side of TeamNut. Lucio needs to be careful, though. Oftentimes, getting too cheeky, getting too reckless, and too overconfident on your own mobility has led to many Lucio deaths in the past, but here they go with a reinitiation, bouncing back. Timeless. Can he retaliate, though? Lucio's dropping dangerously low in health.
So is Garrosh, but they're still able to pick up the kill there. Nicely done, putting on the pressure. In the meantime, No is just gaining stack after stack on the Shuriken build he's gone for. Hope he finds out that solo laning is hard against Urel. Hikari is going to show just how hard it is by getting completely outjuked, and that is going to be...
Oh, the minion!
Oh, minion troll! Nicely done. That is lucky.
Give that ranged minion a promotion because it just prevented a Dragon Knight from happening. Now, there's a little bit of a chase here, trying to finish down the Phoenix, but the healing process, I think he took the healing fountain before, is too strong for now and keeps him safe and sound. Now, Garrosh is guarding the middle because this time it is KT's time to maintain control over 2 shrines, but never mind, the Nuts got it back in the top lane already.
Urel, a little bit more pressure being applied here. More CC onto Hope. Does he have his teleport off cooldown? He does, but is it enough? Here comes No, giving the answer to the question I just asked.
Tetcher, can we have statistics here? Can we maybe have a sheet that shows us the number of deaths of all Phoenix combined only on this day?
I can maybe.
I'm pretty sure the number of Phoenixes. Look at that Tychus, by the way, spraying his minigun onto the Garrosh, but not able to kill him. There we go. With the help of Dehaka and Malfurion, they finally bring down the Orc. Atui needs to be very careful. Actually, Cool and Calm bounces back the Timeless already, and this might be enough for them to finally get that first Dragon Knight of the game. This time, the Archer minion was sleeping and didn't interrupt Fei.
Yes, the order's coming down from high command. Whatever you do, minions, focus other minions over any heroes. To not do so would be rude. As we see the Dragon Knight pushing in the mid lane, getting some value out. So many low members from KT repeatedly in the series. See it, Tychus. But they're still able to, from TeamNut repeatedly in this game, but they're still able to tank through.
They're still able to tank through. The Dragon Knight doesn't really care about those blinds, so he basically destroyed 2 towers in the middle and the gate as well, opening up the map just a tad bit more, and immediately he's rotating over to the top lane. Urel, by the way, in that Dragon Knight. So even if they pop it and they catch her out of position, she should have more than enough tools available to actually escape the fangs of KT regardless. By the way, Fei, speaking of Urel, he's going for the exact same build up to this point, going for the cooldown reduction on his E at level 7 rather than Divine Steed, what we're used to seeing from other regions.
Lucio showing that he couldn't care less if you're a frontliner, just running up to Johanna a little bit earlier, and even dropping a boombox on the opponent's Siege Giant camp to see when they start doing it. The boombox used for this quite often, actually, not used for the healing like you see, because it does not stack with Lucio.
Exactly. So it's usually a nice tool to extend the range of your area of effect like in general, but as you said, it doesn't stack. So for example, if a hero stands in the boombox and loses his own range, it's not going to receive twice the healing because that would be a little broken. For now though, as you said, a nice scouting tool as well. It's oftentimes used in bushes as well, similar to a Wisp actually, just with the difference that it's not mobile. But I really like the Lucio play up to this point. I'm not going to lie. I think Lucio already has proven to be more useful and impactful than many people thought he would be able to. Now, of course, the level 10, the Sound Barrier is going to be the weapon of choice to absorb most of the damage coming in from a Phoenix salvo.
I mean, let's have a look at this. What was the meta, or at least this particular game right now, is so in favor of Lucio, it's insane. There's nothing that really needs to cleanse outside of isolation. There's a huge amount of AoE damage, including one great AoE damage, which has a big old warm-up, which gives Lucio plenty of time for the Sound Barrier. This is about as telegraphed of a... This is going to be a pretty good game for Lucio as it can be. Not even hard engage.
Absolutely, and I love the adaptation that TeamNut has shown in this series, right? Not being afraid to actually pick something that might look... Oh, here we go. That was an interesting arrow.
Did not land, but instead of the arrow landing, they were able to pick up a Phoenix instead. In comes Johanna, though, looking for the counter kill. We're seeing a Tui getting chunked down, gets the Sound Barrier, though. See you, nerd. Speed boosting away. Hikari, though, he's wrapping around. The healing's coming out. A Tui gets finished off by the Odin, finally, and we are seeing KT taking a really good fight. Great angle, punishing TeamNut for extending so far forward, and they pick up the triple kill.
They pick up a triple kill, and this is the first showing that KT have had in this game. Up to this point, they were only trying to catch up to the Nuts, right? They were getting so outplayed for the most part, but now look at Lucio. He's caught, barely manages to stay out of life, but because of the zoning provided by Hikari on that Dahaka, right? In that horseshoe, there's nowhere left for them to run. And they end up dying now as well. 1, 2, 3 is the place to be, and... You know, as such, I think they might actually find another kill here against Irel. Ardent Defender protects her for now.
Surviving allows her to get the Avenging Wrath out, so good job there. Faye survives. Now they can rotate to mid and prevent the Dragon Knight from going down. They might even get Hape. Yes, they do. No gets the reset. Twilight Dream, though, preventing Garrosh from going too much further. In comes Dahaka from behind the salvo, coming out. Sound Barrier not off cooldown yet, so they just take the damage. As we see, No moving on to the back line, though. X-Strike picks off and in there, beautifully done. And No dashes out again on no hit points. Dashes in again on no hit points and picks up another kill.
And here goes the Sound Barrier Tetcher. They're not done just yet. They would have loved to get maybe yet another kill, but they basically stop the greed from kicking in, and they play it smartly. Very well done by the Nuts. They realize, you know what? We can take this Dragon Knight now with 2 people on our enemy team still, you know, on the death terms. But that was the initiation they were looking for. The Tyke has no chance of escaping. Beautiful taunt into Dragon's Arrow combo there as well. Just everything seemed to work out so well. But also look at No's positioning. He's patiently waiting on that Genji until the time is ripe to go back in there.
No's play just then was absolutely good. Like, you can see him here, still on low health, gets the mount, immediate dismount, gets another kill, and picks up the damage. He just dived in purely to get the ice, to get the deflect, basically, and still was able to pick up the damage from it. Really nice play, and right now, No is 100% my MVP of this game for me. But let's see if he can keep it up, as currently it's only a level lead, but it is a talent level lead.
It is a talent tier indeed, and now we see the Shuriken quest completed for Genji, which actually seems to be a very popular building route these days. Going for the questing at 4 and then going for Sheen Gun at level 13. So when all 3 Shurikens connect on the same target, it's going to be a nice chunk of extra bonus damage. Now Hope already in trouble. The arrow connects it. Are they going to be able to execute that kill? Yes, they are. The Shimada Bros with perfect accuracy, just taking down Phoenix once again.
I think we need to get to the point where if we have to ask the question, will they survive, and Genji is on the screen, we just read his name and that's the answer. Because it keeps happening. As we see them move in, Dahaka coming in from behind, nice little knockback. Oh, and is TWT going to survive? The answer is no. As down, he does not go. God damn it, misproving my point immediately. Go on, No. Go on, No, he's right there. Sound Barrier's down. TWT sneaky into the backline. Oh, ruining my point. I just made that point.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for you this time, buddy. But guess what? Faye is now here. Irel basically wasn't part of that team fight for the largest portion of it. So it was effectively a 4 versus 4. Now she's back here though, but look at KT showing some teeth, basically trying to push their opponents back and successfully doing so up to this point.
Here comes the push. Faye moving forward, little bit of damage onto him, but here he comes forward, giving the armor once again to FS. They turn around, beautiful taunt, and Phoenix is not going to get wrecked this time, thanks to the Twilight Dream of TWT, but they dive forward. No picks up the kill. Now it is Hape who is the target, moving forward, trying to get the lockdown, but they can't do it, as Faye forced to back up, but a nice movement by FS, though, knock back onto Timeless, just being ping-ponged around, and they dodge the Blessed Shield, and that is going to be yet another kill.
Movement speed.
Here. No picks up another kill.
No
Dives back
way.
for another. It's a team wipe.
Tetra,
Not a team wipe, sorry. Dahaka stuck away.
Yeah, Dahaka actually made the play to go back to top lane to get the shrine under his control. But I think the rest of his team, they basically just didn't get the memo, and they still got themselves engaged upon by TeamNut. And we saw the movement speed value by Lucio empowering Genji, empowering Garrosh one time after the other to basically get kill after kill after kill. And this should also be the Dragon Knight they really want to get. You see Urel here in the top lane. Can she bully Dahaka out of the shrine platform?
Nope. I mean, that's quite cool. Dragging Urel out of mid-air with Dahaka there. Giving it a little bit of punishment. Even more CC.
Reinforcements.
Your attack cooldown reduction. FS is on the way, but as is Timeless. Both the tanks arriving. The tankiest top lane fight. The support's arriving as well. Dragon Arrow lands though. Hikari drops low, drops the isolation, burrowing under to provide some time. But No's here. The sound barrier's here, and it's going to be a massacre. They push forward. Dragon Knight snuck away while this is happening. And, well, they got the kills. Actually, this salvo might be nice. No, the slow expired, so the damage does not land.
All right, there we go. We saw a beautiful sound barrier saving the day once again for TeamNut. The Lucio value, I think, is absolutely insane here. I mean, a lot of people, myself included, to be honest, were a little skeptical when we saw that hero to get picked in or locked in. But boy, oh boy, do they make it work, especially with that Genji and the hyper-explosive burst damage thanks to the Shingun Shuriken build.
We see the rotations coming down to bot lane. The Dragon Knight is already on the keep, will take it down. The attempt to kill off Timeless with that taunt. Lucio not well known for his DPS. Genji tried his best as well. Agile dismount. And they pick up the keep, they pick up the kill, and they're looking to pick up a core.
That they do, and who's going to stop them? Johanna. Timeless is nowhere to be found. They kick away the Dahaka, who's so low mobility, to immediately rejoin the fray. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it if no miracle happens for KT, who are desperately trying to stay in the game. But TeamNut, they're just too heavy on the court. Too much damage from the Dragon Knight. They're going all in for this. Genji is just having a heyday. He's going for 1, 2, 3 kills in a row. A beautiful triple kill, baby. And they make it a 2-0. Now, pulling even in points with KT. This was a big win for TeamNut.
They pull even with KT, they pull even with CE, with an equal number of series played.